Heated debates taking over Capitol Hill this week. FBI Director Kash Patel has become the first prominent Justice Department official testifying to Congress since the growing outrage over the Epstein files handling.
The House Judiciary Committee demanding to know why names in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged black book and other files are remaining sealed. It didn't take long before the hearing turned into a shouting match between lawmakers and Patel. Just listen to this heated exchange between Jamie Raskin and Patel.
That's what we're working with.
Wait, have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house? The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to release.
Which court are you talking about?
3 separate federal courts have come in and said...
We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those courts have.
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait.
Do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to follow your own
curiosity?
word, Director Patel. You said up there it was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the black book.
Everything I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
It was a similar story with Congressman Eric Swalwell when he brought up Patel's book calling government officials government gangsters. Take a listen.
Considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so because they failed to meet the muster and their constitutional obligation.
I will work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call on your entire career in Congress.
I'm reclaiming my time,
It has been a disgrace to the American people.
I'm reclaiming my time.
You can reclaim your time all you want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way? Mr. Chairman, would you
recuse yourself,
the gentleman has no time. Mr. Chairman, would you admonish the witness not to insult members?
Trump's name was also frequently coming up in the questioning, but Patel testified he did not know how many times the president's name appeared in the files, but that there are no pictures of Trump with girls of a, quote, uncertain age, and that Trump was never an FBI informant during the Epstein case. Releasing all of the Epstein files has been a bipartisan push, as even some Republicans are looking for full transparency into the sex offenders' accomplices. Yeah, lots of testy exchanges there. Well, in the one with Jamie Raskin, though, he's saying that I'm giving you everything. Their courts have to allow me to release files, so what do you want from me?
Okay, well, as political reporter, Kyle Cheney put it, because I read this beautiful article about why that's not true. So Kash Patel is suggesting falsely that court orders denying the release of Epstein grand jury materials is somehow tying his hands on releasing the documents in custody of the FBI. The courts made clear that the FBI and DOJ can release their own files. So it's just untrue. So this is what I'm saying. We're watching this play out, and I know that this is political theater, right? So for all of the House members and all of the Senate members, they can take these clips and put them on social media and get some traction from their base and their voters and say, here's what I'm doing to fight justice. And Kash Patel's not giving any real answers, and so we're not coming to any real conclusions. But there are people that are actually their constituents and the American public, because there's been many polls, that actually just want to understand what happened here and what may or may not be in the government's possession and why it feels so dicey on what they're sharing or not sharing. Now, Raskin actually has a point asking him to release that stuff, because Kash Patel himself has been on multiple podcasts saying and referencing this black book in the past before he was the director, and specifically calling on the director to do more or get fired. And these are things that he's been saying and going around about how much information they have on the Epstein file. Then he gets in the role, and now he's doing a complete 180. And so to be critical of him is nothing but fair.
Okay. Look, no one will ever be satisfied with any amount of disclosure on this topic.
He said, did you release financial information? Like, so he's up there lying because he knows that he can do way more than he's done, and he's not answering questions.
All
and
right,
that
you
should
say this news article says he can release the documents. He says he can't because the judge won't let him, or that he's had to go to judges to get permission to release things. I mean, that going to judge to get the permission to release things is a component of this, because that's why the victims who were at that press conference can't just say who they were victimized by, because they have settlements where they got millions of dollars, and so they agreed never to name names. So you got to have a judge revise that. So there is some waiting for the legal system to say you can say the things they already know. We don't even need to go to documents. We have primary sources who won't speak because they traded that away for money.
No one understands how Kash Patel, the FBI director, has so little intel and information. It's literally your job to have intel and information. I mean, he says that he never spoke to Trump about the Epstein files, that you believe that statement, that is just a lie. So we are sitting here just watching people just lie and not give information, and people are really just asking for plain answers. Whether you're in the MAGA base and wanted this for the longest time, whether you're a Democrat who thinks this is a political opportunity, or whether you are an American citizen who just wants transparency, why is it okay for Kash Patel to sit up there and be vague and not answer people, and then get so defensive when people ask him questions that he's coming at everybody's next, calling them names and like, like that's your response?
You wrote a book saying you wanted there's too many FBI agents and you want to fire some of them. Will you recuse yourself from firing FBI agents? Come on. It's ridiculous.
He's doing his job. He's asking
Eric
questions.
Swalwell.
Everyone is up there asking questions like they're supposed to be. They feel like these are the most burning questions from their constituents and as congressional members. And even though some of it is a political circus, Kash Patel has one job: answer the questions. And if
one job, release the Epstein files?
No, one job, answer the questions about that. There's plenty of things we talked about. One job, answer about why your response to Charlie Kirk's death was so disastrous. One job, answer if any of these firings in the FBI were political in nature.
Kash Patel?
What did he say?
What did he say? What's the Charlie Kirk thing?
His response was all over the place with like, oh my God, we have information, we have the killer, and it's like, no, we don't have. People wanted answers. Like, so he has one job to answer. Like, at these hearings, they were like, why are you so all over the place? I know, but he said we have somebody in custody like twice. It was incorrect.
Well, one of those people is being charged with obstructing the process because he said like he hopes the killer gets away, and I think. I also read that he had child porn. So
what's wrong with waiting until we're sure, though? What's wrong with waiting until we're sure?
They got a guy.
But what's wrong with waiting until we're sure? Besides trying to be first and wrong, as a journalist, that's the first thing that I learned. If you want to be first and in a rush, just be right at least.
He said we have someone in custody.
Yes, he's just in a rush to. Oh my God, we got somebody else. Like people, it's not only that Democrats or Republicans are mad about this. A lot of people are confused about his response to Charlie Kirk and asked him about it. A lot of people are confused about his response to the Epstein files and asked him about it. A lot of people asked him about whether FBI recent firings were political in nature, and he's not giving real answers to any of these. He's getting defensive and trying to find jabs to tell people why they're insignificant or insufficient in their roles. And that may be fine, and both things could be true, but he also should just answer the question. He's literally having a hearing to get answers for constituents and for the American public that has questions that they think are important to get answered. So why does he not give real answers to any of these?
They don't want answers. They want to politically grandstand and clip it for their own social media networks. They don't care. These hearings are always totally pointless.
But say that the answer that comes out answers somebody at home's question, then what is wrong with him answering any questions? And also, you have way more leniency for him, for somebody who looks at him and Pam Bondi as the two most significant reasons about why MAGA base is so riled up about these Epstein files. So where's all this new leniency coming from? When we were all talking about this and you got me on board with why we should look into these Epstein files in the first place. And now I'm all involved and you're like,
Democrats convince themselves
I'm done.
It's bad for Trump.
So he doesn't have any responsibility based on what he's been saying the last year to follow up with those statements that he said in our document.
I don't know how many times I can say it. I favor transparency. I just don't think people will ever be happy because the information they're looking for doesn't exist. It's not true that Donald Trump abused underage girls, and you'll never find that evidence. That's all Democrats want. It doesn't exist because it didn't happen.
No, I think Democrats are supposed to also be on that list.
Satisfied
and so they just want to know who's on the list.
That the Clintons didn't commit sexual misconduct or Obama or whoever. They just wanted, both sides just wanted to score political points by humiliating their enemies, and there's not any humiliating information on their enemies. There might be some humiliating stuff on random businessmen or celebrities or people
who donate lots of millions of dollars to political campaigns and people. And so what's wrong with them being reviewed if they are attached to this in any way?
Tell us.
Yeah, we should know.
Those women who keep saying, well, I'll tell you later, just tell us now. Give back the money and tell us. They don't want to do that, do they? Why don't we put together some money?
I'm not going to go down the path
and
of
we can replace
their
settlement money, and we can collect some money. Okay, we'll give you this money, and so you can forfeit your settlement, and then you can tell us who did this to you.
Or the government can do its job and explain why there seems to be some type of cover-up happening because people seem confused about why Ghislaine Maxwell now is in a minimum security prison, and there are lots of things going on that look unsavory, and when you see smoke, it may be fire nearby, and these are questions that need answers, and Kash Patel is not equipped to answer them, clearly.
Okay. Coming up after nearly 50 years, Ben and Jerry's will no longer have Jerry, just Ben. What the ice cream company's co-founder is leaving and also leveling accusations of censorship against their owners. Interesting.